Hey everyone, Cahlen here. Today on my second day of my backpacking adventure in the Jemez Mountains in New Mexico. Last night I climbed up to the top of this mesa and camped out here at this abandoned quarry. You can see the video about that by looking at my previous video. And today I'm going to continue my journey and try and get to the river valley, which is on the other side of this mesa. So I started in a river valley and then I climbed a mesa. And I'm traveling across it today and then down it to another river valley, which basically there's no people there. So one of the problems that I have today is that I am out of water, or at least almost out of water. You see there's a little bit there. And the journey that I have to make is probably about 5 hours long. So technically I could probably do that, but it would be a little bit uncomfortable. This part of the world is very dry, and so just breathing the air I can feel my mouth getting kind of parched and that type of thing. So I am going to try and locate some water around where I am and carry it with me. It's very likely not going to be ideal water, and if you saw my video yesterday you'll see I found a pool of water that's kind of sitting in this very rusted container. I think I'm going to grab that stuff, although I do have a few other options. There's a dried up riverbed, which if I dug in too deeply enough I could probably find some water, but it would be really muddy and I don't have a good filter for that. And then there's also down that way there's a little bog with a bunch of stumps and stuff like that with about, I'd say, 1.5 feet of water in it, but also extremely muddy. So I'm just going to go with the rain catchment thing that I found yesterday. And if I have to drink it, if I can't find water on the way, then at least I have something and I can deal with a little bit of rust in my water. So another thing that I have to deal with today is this camera that I'm filming on is running a little low on battery, and I'm in a forest, so it's a little hard to charge it with my solar folding charger. So I need to find a good place out in a clearing to charge it. So you may not see a whole lot of updates from me until I'm able to make that happen. So anyways, you'll probably see me grabbing the water real quick. It won't take too long. So I'm just gonna head over there now. So here I am at the rain catchment. You can see that has a very wide roof, and that's what catches the water, and it falls down and into a pipe, which comes over to this thing. So as I said, it's a little bit rusty inside, but I think if I skim the water off the top and I make sure that I'm treating it, that it should be fine. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to treat this water with something called chlorine dioxide. And that's something that backpackers often use to clean water, and it's also useful for various other things, including health things. Some say it can even cure cancer, which I personally believe, but of course I'm not a doctor. So this is called MMS. This is just the company who makes it. They call it this. It's really sodium chlorite, which has chlorine in it. It's bound to a sodium. And this is citric acid, which is a type of acid that you get from citrus. And when these are combined, it's going to turn into something else, and that's chlorine dioxide. And then I'm going to pour my water into it, and that it'll clean it. So one important thing, if you're going to be doing this type of thing, is to make sure you're not using a steel canteen or anything that's made of steel, because chlorine dioxide will bind to it. It'll get in your water and you'll be drinking that. Not necessarily a good thing. This is titanium, which it does not do that to. And also you can just use a plastic water bottle, which is probably the thing that most people would be using. So basically I'm going to put equal amount of drops into an empty bottle. I'm sorry, it's not quite empty. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'm going to put the acid in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now that's activating. And what I'm going to do is get some of this water and start pouring it in here within about 30 seconds. Alright, so I've filled up this water bottle now, and it should be cleaning it, and I'm just going to kind of let it sit and settle so any sediment gets down to the bottom And then I'm going to use it to cook my Wizard's Brew hot chocolate morning drink. Alright, so I tasted a little bit of that water once it had settled, and it was very, very strong rust taste, so I'm not going to drink that. So I'm going to make my Wizard's Brew out of the water that I have left, and I have looked on the satellite map and found a road which isn't marked officially, but you can see where it is, and it leads down into a place where there should be water. So I'm going to do that, but first I'm going to make the Wizard's Brew. Yeah, you like the original packaging? Okay. So you can see it's just basically chocolate, coconut oil, MCT oil, and cinnamon. And I also put xylitol in there as a sweetener. So this is basically a drink which I have for breakfast. It gives me a lot of calories. It puts me into ketosis, and it supports me doing something called intermittent fasting, which has a lot of benefits. And I find it's just a great way to start the morning because I'm not doing any heavy digestion, so I have a lot more energy for other things. So I'm just going to take like 3 scoops out of here, put it in this little canteen, add some water, and mix it up and drink it throughout the day, or at least throughout the morning. Normally I would boil some water to do this, but I kind of want to get a move on before it gets too hot to get down to that water source. So I'm just going to use lukewarm water. This stuff will melt once the sun starts hitting the bottle, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, I'm off to find that river to get some water, and it looks like it's about a 4.5 mile hike. Should take me about an hour and a half, so I'll see you then. So I want to just quickly show you the road I'm taking. You can see it comes down along the side of a ravine or canyon. That's the other side over there, and I'm on this side, and the road goes down. And I can hear water down there. Sweet nectar of life. So this road is pretty old and definitely not maintained. You can see back there, I think about right here, all those trees, basically a little forest, is growing right on the road. And then right here is a big old landslide that goes straight down the canyon that I had to cross. So when a road's this old and it's not even marked on a map anymore, no one's maintaining it. So once a landslide goes through, if it shuts down the road, then the road shut down. But luckily, I was able to get past it with some help from some trees who were still kind of firmly rooted in the sand, and just held on to them and walked past it. So I'm almost to the river, I think. Well, maybe 2 more miles or something like that. So hopefully I don't hit any more of these landslides, at least not any that I can't pass. Well, I ended up coming across several more landslides, and one of them was actually pretty bad. It makes those trekking poles that I have very handy for sure. So I don't know if you can hear that, but that's water flowing, and you can see there's a bunch of kind of fluorescent green cottonwoods down there, and in this area the cottonwoods are always along the river, so looks like I'm getting close. Check this place out. I bet you no human has been in this spot for years. Alright, time to drink, but even though this is snow melt and is only probably melting a few miles up from me, I'm still going to be careful and clean the water with the same stuff you saw me do earlier. So I'm going to put less drops in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, something to know about these is they're pretty light and compact, and this set of bottles I've been using probably for 6 months, and I would say they're about this full, you know, mostly full still. So, anyways, I'm just going to fill the bottle now. And also, plenty of lunch. So many people don't know that the dandelion, which most consider to be just a nuisance weed, is actually completely edible. The entire thing, the leaves, the flowers, and even the roots. So I'm going to have some greens and some flowers for lunch today, and then collect some, because there's plenty along this stream, collect some roots and saute it for dinner, I think. So I just finished taking a long nap by the creek side while my camera was charging with the solar charger in the sun. And before that, I had taken a kind of a walk through the area, looking around. And I actually found quite a few things which indicated people used to live here, probably several decades ago at least, but definitely human activity. And so, to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit lazy, and all I want to do is lounge around here because it's just so perfect. So I don't really want to go and film those things at the moment, but tomorrow I plan to go back and find these places and film them and do some more exploring. So tomorrow's video will be about that. But for today, I'm just gonna lounge around here, eat some dinner, and probably just sleep tonight right by the stream. And it makes me think, why do we live why do we live in places other than places like this? Like cities and weird urban areas. It's just strange. I mean, I feel like I could have everything I needed here. And yeah, I guess the only thing that's kind of sad about it is I'm the only person out here, which is nice in some ways, but also, kind of sad. So, anyways, I think that's it for today's video. I'm just gonna hunker down and camp for the night, and then I'll see you tomorrow.